this is the top three. I got to hear where the madman's going with this. I'm excited. I've got a special team at number 3. I got to hear yours.
So, Will, you've already heard what my number 2 was. But at number 3, and this is a little bit of a trick question, Will, and we'll probably get to it at the end. I think there's going to be some fun conversation when we get all the way to the top of the list. But number 3, all hail the mighty Bruins of UCLA. No doubt about it for me. Top 3 receiving core. We've talked about it ad nauseum, Will. Jake Bobo, the 74 catches, 794 yards. He's going to be a 6'5" guy who's not just a possession guy with a little bit of verticality. We love everything about Kaz Allen. I picked him to have that breakout against SC last year. He delivered for me. I think he's the next iteration of the great Swiss Army knife in spread offenses, a la what Percy Harvin was at Florida and DeAnthony Thomas was with Chip in Oregon. I think huge numbers there. Rushing, receiving, return game. And then I love Kam Brown. He gave us a taste. I want more Kam Brown. What a massive game he had against Fresno State. Really single-handedly is the reason the Bruins had the lead late in the fourth quarter of that game, because he was DTR's primary in that game, came up huge. I think if he can put it together this year, which he will, with the opportunity that is presented to him with the departure of Phillips and Dulcich. And then our guy TMA, the transfer from UCF, hasn't shown a ton yet, but all indications in spring practice are the kid has everything from a wide receiver perspective physically, as well as the route running ability. And I think him slotting in at that number 4 wide receiver slot really shows a great deal of depth at UCLA. You bring back DTR, arguably the favorite, the co-favorite, at least for Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. And I think this, to me, is a no-brainer that the Bruins of UCLA are in the top 3.
Jake Bobo, 74 catches returning from last season. That is the second most within the conference for any player going to be playing the Pac-12 next year. 74 grabs, 794 yards. Was a preseason Pac-12 second-team all-selection by Athlon Sports. And you nailed it with Kaz Allen. Swiss Army knife this guy brings to the table, and the ways he can be dangerous with the ball in his hands. The USC game that you predicted, I was there for, folks. Madman stood up on, his podium and went, Kaz Allen is the guy that's going to break out. And breakout is almost an understatement on what this guy was doing. It looked like Randy Moss Thanksgiving Day stats, like 3 catches, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that is gross statistics. We're not even accounting for the fact that he had the 100+ yards out of the end zone kickoff return. I think he's going to be the best return man in the conference, let alone be one of these standout receivers in the conference. And I think we were just starting to get a taste of what Chip Kelly can do with him, because if we count Deebo Samuel and what he does as a wide receiver that does running back formations, we were starting to see that with a guy like Kaz Allen. Last game of the season last year, 3 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. You add that to what he can do in the receiving room. This guy is going to be such a multi-dimensional receiver out in the field. It's going to keep defensive coordinators up at night trying to game plan. How do I stop this 5'9", 175-pound speed demon out on the football field? So I love the Kaz Allen points. You mentioned Kam Brown, what he did against Fresno State, 5 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. He had some nagging injuries first year in the offense. I expect him to take a leap next year. And you have the fact that we have 2 4-star, receivers waiting in the wings, whether it's Titus Mokiao-Atimalala, who was the first receiver that, Devin Kirkwood mentioned on our podcast who was impressing him. It was Titus, and I always take stack in that because those guys are competing against those guys every single day in practice. And you got Logan Loya, the local product, who, has been very solid, has been reviewed very well by the coaches. He just hasn't really been able to crack that spot because, Kyle Phillips, arguably the best receiver we've had since J.J. Stokes in the program, has kind of, had his role. He's gone now, so Logan Loya is going to be promoted. I think UCLA is the top 3 receiving room in conference if everything hits their way. So, Madman, we are very similarly aligned on that. Gotta love it.